Welcome back, folks. That was part one, talking more about severe thunderstorms, how they form and the anatomy within them, and looking at all sorts of stuff in regards to that, including lightning. Now we're going to dive deeper into a little bit of how storms are formed, as well as the hail and tornadoes that can be associated with them, and I'll be talking more about that within this next video, so please enjoy. Hey there, folks. Meteorologist Hunter McCullough here with Northern News Now. The last part with this thunderstorm talk was basically talking about the anatomy of a thunderstorm, how thunderstorms work, how they operate, the different portions of a thunderstorm, the lack of organization, and also a little bit of organization needed when it comes to a thunderstorm. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how hail forms and how tornadoes form. So let's talk about hail here first. So as I mentioned in the last portion of this video, there is a layer within a cloud where we do see the freezing line. So above that line is freezing temperatures. Below that line is usually above freezing temperatures. And so we have the strong updraft. So water droplets are actually moving upward with this updraft, and it goes above into that freezing layer. So you have to have a strong updraft in order to get large hail. So what happens is now this ice ball that has been created moves up and down throughout that freezing level, going up and freezing, down and melting, and you actually get different layers within a hailstone as it kind of depicted over here. If you do cut a hailstone in half, you'll actually see, much like a tree, layers within that hailstone. And again, that is the actual freezing and melting, remelting, refreezing of that hailstone several times as it goes above and below and above and below that freezing level. Now, a lot of times it's round. A lot of times, though, it also kind of looks really funky with pieces of ice sticking out all over the place. That means you've got very strong winds within that thunderstorm blowing that water droplet around, and as it's freezing in all these different weird patterns because of the kind of crazy atmosphere that's going on within that thunderstorm. So that's hail right there. Now, as long as the updraft is strong enough, that hail stays in the storm. But eventually the hail gets too big to where the updraft does not support the hailstone anymore, and it actually falls out of the thunderstorm. So once that hail weight exceeds the strength of the updraft, you see that hail falling out. And that's how strong a thunderstorm is. If you've got a very strong updraft, you can get very large pieces of hail that can be life-threatening, that can really damage property. Once you start getting to softball size, that is a huge hailstone, and you need a really strong updraft in order to support that sort of thing. Anything larger than that, of course, is a very strong updraft. So there's your hail explanation there. Here's our different hail sizes. Severe thunderstorm warning is issued when it's about a quarter size hail. 1 inch is a severe thunderstorm technically when it comes to hail sizes. And you can see it gets pretty big pretty fast. Softball size is 4-inch hail. We don't see that around here too often, but it is possible. We have definitely recorded large hail sizes such as that within our region. Again, you need a really strong updraft in order to see that big of hail form when it comes to a thunderstorm. Let's talk about tornadoes here. And before I talk about this, I do want to say that there's still a lot unknown about tornadoes and even severe thunderstorms for that matter. This is what is known about tornadoes and severe thunderstorms when it comes to a typical tornado, I should say. So what you need here is you need what's called wind shear. Wind shear is a change in direction and speed with height. So the higher or lower you go within the atmosphere, the wind changes direction, it changes wind speed. So at the surface it's going one way, but at the upper levels it's going a different way and a different wind speed. So you need that in order to start the rotation process when it comes to tornado. Stronger upper level winds creates a rotating column of air. But once again, you need that updraft to also transform it from a more horizontal rotation to a more vertical rotation. So as that updraft continues, it actually helps with that rotating column of air. It helps to make it upright and create that thunderstorm updraft and that rotating column of air. As that is happening, we're starting to see a wall cloud form, and eventually a funnel cloud starts to fall out of that wall cloud. So the rotating column of air continues to build downward. If it doesn't reach the ground, it is known as a funnel cloud. If it does touch down, it is a tornado. With tornadoes, it's different than a hurricane, where you cannot tell exactly what rating it is until you actually go out and survey the damage. With a hurricane, you just look at the wind speeds. If the wind speed is a certain wind speed, well then, yeah, this is a hurricane category 4 or whatever. With a tornado, you need to go out afterwards and survey the damage. The National Weather Service does this, and then that will tell them what the rating is, EF4, EF3, whatever it is. The higher the number, the stronger the tornado. And we do see, on average, at least a couple of tornadoes a year in our region. It's definitely something that we keep an eye on and that we talk about when it comes to severe weather season. Not every severe thunderstorm is necessarily capable of producing a tornado, but you definitely still usually have at least a little bit of a chance with most thunderstorms. You need that rotation. You need a surface-based thunderstorm, meaning that the bottom of the thunderstorm is as close to the surface as possible, because that's, again, the closer it is to the surface, the easier it is for a tornado to form. You need that rotation as well, and a lot that we look into when it comes to our forecast here. So that's the basics on hail and tornadoes and how they form. Thank you very much. Have a great day.